So this next stone is an 800, which actually may prove to be unnecessary, but I'm gonna go stroke the knife on it a few times, and the jump really isn't that significant from the last stone, and the steel is moving pretty well off the knife. So this is just quick, probably a quick run on this stone, and then I'm going to move on to the special final stone. This is actually a new stone, and the funny thing about new stones is, especially when you put them to a platen like this, like an absolute flat surface, they often require a little bit more effort than you'd think or you'd expect. But you know, they're not doing this to these stones in the factory, so that probably explains why I have to now. That's pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna move on. We're just gonna hit this knife. Yeah, hopefully the goal here is to get basically a smaller burr, a more refined edge. And then we'll rerun that on the other side again. I'm not gonna work it as long because most of the hard angles are now established. Now I'm really kind of trying to make that angle flat and then feather it in. So at this point, I'm kind of rocking the knife a little bit, and I might, actually I know I'll be changing my stroke at some point soon, which will basically go in the opposite direction that I've been going in. And pretty soon I'll be changing the direction I'll be going in, and I'll be going kind of more lengthwise to the knife. And that'll be to start the polishing process, kind of the taking out the previous scratch marks, and hopefully also feathering that bevel in a little bit and hiding it to a certain degree within the overall knife. That feels pretty good. I'm going to work the other side now. I kind of usually forget about working the heels, so I like to just kind of stop and do that for half a minute, just because I know I won't be hitting it as much later on when I'm just kind of flowing. When I start at the heel, I'll kind of stay there for half a beat longer, knowing it usually requires that extra work. I usually have to go back to it because I haven't hit it enough when I look at it more closely. Develop these habits, I guess. So I'm seeing a little bit of steel stay on the stone, which is actually a good indication. Means I'm moving some material, which is what I wanted to do. Hopefully flattening out that surface and feathering it in a little bit. Just kind of rocking a little bit on this end. Not much though. Trying not to exceed that flat to the edge that I've established. Hoping to roll over just a little bit of burr, but not a curl, so to speak. So that felt pretty good. Yep, so I just, going back to the light is really helpful. Lets you see if you've gone too far maybe. So again, I'm on the heel, so I'm going to stay there for half a beat. You really don't want the edge to be burrowing into the stone at this point. You really want to be sensitive to that. Because at this point, it's a pretty fine edge, actually. A lot of guys rock and roll through this. I just like to take a second here, get it all right, and I'll finish on some longer strokes. I may actually save that for the final stone, really, but so my areas to go back to are always the heel and the tip. So when I hit those areas, when I think of it, I just kind of spend half a beat longer knowing it usually needs it. It's usually one of those things that's kind of, you can't really do that well in a long stroke like I'm trying to do right now. Can't really get much more than that. And yeah, we all have our blind spots, right? This is turning out pretty well, I feel. I'm going to take a look at the blade now. I don't feel a burr, which is nice. And I am seeing no reflection at all. So from here, I could actually end it, strop it on some leather, and really get a final edge. I'm going to go up one stone, which is a little bit unusual. From here, you could go to 1200. I'm jumping from here to something much higher. I'm going to do a few more strokes on this stone, but I'm going to transfer this special stone into its own separate water bucket so I don't contaminate anything, because it really is that fine of a stone. And I'll talk about that in a bit. Thanks for watching a video. If you have any interest in seeing more, you can find me on social media. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I'm even on Twitter. If you have an interest in maybe getting a knife yourself, by all means go to the website and stay tuned for more.